The last time you decided you wouldn't do business with a company, you wouldn't do business with that builder, you wouldn't use that service provider, for how many was the reason price? You decided they were too expensive. Anyone? You'll get paid fabulously well. Price is not an issue in this room, I'm so glad to see. What about quality? You just weren't getting the quality that you were after. Yeah? 1 or 2 there? For how many was the reason the people? You felt unvalued, unappreciated, unacknowledged, like they just didn't care. Yeah? That's the majority of you, and the rest of you don't do business with anyone. But today will hopefully be a first. Well, in fact, that's exactly what the research tells us. When it comes to why people decide they're not going to do business, for about 15% the reason is price. For 15% the reason is quality. But for 70% the reason is us. But service is not a corporate strategy. Folks, service is one of the most powerful tools that we have to raise our own well-being. Let's say that you performed a random act of service for a colleague or a friend or your partner. You made them a cup of tea or you cleaned their windscreen unexpectedly. Well, it would certainly boost their happiness, but guess what? It would boost your happiness 50% more than theirs. Now, that's no excuse to go home and tell your partner how much happier she'd be if she made you a cup of tea, but clearly the gift is in the giving. Harvard researchers asked people 2 questions. Number 1, how much stress have you experienced in the past year? Number 2, how much time have you spent helping people? First, the bad news. An increased stress, say a bankruptcy or getting divorced, increases your chances of dying by 30%. There is good news. If you're somebody who regularly helps others, your increased chances of dying are 0. Yeah. Scientists think that it's got something to do with a chemical in the brain called oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is emitted in mother's milk. It creates that warm, loving bond between a mother and her baby. It's also emitted in long-term relationships. But oxytocin is also a natural anti-inflammatory that repairs stress-related damage to heart cells. Now, if you want to get an oxytocin boost, you do not have to look for a breastfeeding mother. All you need to do is find someone to help, to connect, to make a difference, and you will get a natural oxytocin boost. Don't you love that expression? That's not my job. It may not be your job, but it could be your opportunity. People who serve beyond the call of duty are 40% more likely to be promoted in the next 2 years than those who say, that's not my job. Professor Albert Steinberg at Wharton Business has found that there are 3 categories that human beings fit into. Number 1 are the givers. Givers are people who say, hey, sow and ye shall reap. You know, maybe not immediately, but eventually it comes back. Takers, they are people who say, it is a dog-eat-dog's world. What they don't realize is that they're the dog. And then matchers. Matchers are people who say, I will sow if you sow. You do not want to be on a team full of matchers because everybody starves. So who do you think are the most successful generally? Givers, takers, or matchers? Givers, right? So then obviously Jacob Zuma and Donald Trump are definitely not givers. So clearly you can reach successful positions in your field by being a taker. But my question is, how successful will Jacob Zuma and Donald Trump go down in history? So as a taker, you can pretend for a while, but sooner or later people find out, and then it's pretty much over, right? Because who do you want on your team? Who do you want to promote? Who do you want as your friend? Who do you want to do business with? A giver, taker, or matcher? Without a doubt, right? It's a giver. So here's what it boils down to. Don't try and be a person of success. Be a person of value, and success will follow. Yeah? The best way to serve yourself is to serve others. In Serve to Succeed, I will make the case to be a giver. But more than that, what I will do is provide practical tools to deepen the quality of the service that you give, not just to your external clients, but to your internal too. Because one thing that we know is that high service teams are high performance teams. Thank you.